It'll be the start of the first full season of the Dave Dombrowski era in Boston. And one of the most trusted people to Dombrowski is Frank Wren. They were together in Montreal and in Florida, and now Wren, who spent 7 seasons as the general manager in Atlanta, is here as the senior vice president of baseball operations. I spoke with him today about why this was the right place for Wren to continue his career.
Well, it's a good fit because obviously it's a great organization. It's an organization, when you're in the game, I've been in the game almost 40 years, you'd like to at some point work for the Boston Red Sox because it's a storied franchise. But putting that aside, they had started some really great work here. I think when you look at the player development and scouting, the strength of the organization, they've done such a nice job, good young core coming along. And when Dave was named president back in August, you know, it was kind of a natural fit for me because he and I worked together for about a dozen years in Montreal and Florida, and always have remained very good friends and rivals when I was with Atlanta and he with Detroit, and we had spring training close together. And when he called, it was probably one of the few clubs I would have really wanted to come work with, and so it worked out great. And Mike is a really bright young guy, and he's going to do a great job as GM, and that wasn't really my focus. Was just coming being a part of something great.
In those 4+ decades you've been in the game, we've seen it go from where a GM could kind of run the baseball lines, explosion of the international game, the explosion of analytics. It's not a one-man job anymore, is it? No,
it really isn't. And I think we're very fortunate here that we have ownership backing to have well-defined departments that are fully manned and fully stocked with a lot of bright people, because it is a tough job. And I think what you find, you know, even in Atlanta, where we, you know, a strong franchise with a lot of success, you know, we had nowhere near the resources or the manpower that they have here, which I think is going to lead to success.
What should fans know about Dave Dombrowski? Why is he the right guy to get this team back to where it wants to be?
Well, I think Dave's got a great track record. When you look at, he's been able to put together winners everywhere he's been. We won a world championship in '97 in only our 5th year with the Florida Marlins. And he put, you know, Detroit was staggering as a franchise when he went there, and year after year they were perennial contenders. So I think that's the first thing. Dave knows how to put together winning teams. And I think from a people standpoint, they're going to find out very quickly, and the staff has already found that out after the first 6 months. He utilizes his people. He wants a good, strong core of people around him, and he utilizes them. And the scouts love it. The front office people love it because they know they're going to be involved.
Allard Baird's over on field 3. Ruben Amaro's coaching first base. Have you ever seen so many former GMs on one team?
No, I haven't. But, you know, it's funny to compare notes, especially Ruben and I were big rivals with Philadelphia and Atlanta, and we were going after some of the same players. We had a great friendly rivalry, so now we can kind of compare notes on, you know, what was really going on in those trade discussions.
This group of young players that we saw at the end last year, I think a lot of people expected Dave would have to sort of rip that up to add. He didn't. He brought it back. How good is this core of young players? Bogarts, Betts, Bradley, Castillo. You got a lot of young players here coming together.
Well, I think it's a really good building block, and I think that's what Dave, you know, his evaluation very quickly was this was a team that you didn't want to tear apart. You wanted to build upon it, and I think as we saw in August and September, they're capable of doing a lot of really great things. And if you could add the right mix, and when we had our scouts meetings and our organizational meetings back in the fall, it was apparent if we could come up with that lead starting pitcher, that lead dog, that could help some of the young guys develop and take some of the pressure off of them. And you could come up with some strength to our bullpen. So you didn't have to go to Koji and Tozawa every single night and add some depth there, that this team had a chance to compete very quickly. And being able to get Price and Kimbrell and then go get Carson Smith at the winter meetings, that added to exactly what we felt the needs were going in. And so coming to spring training, I think everybody's excited. And now, obviously, you got to assume health, but this team's got a chance to compete. And you want the young guys to feel comfortable that they don't have to be necessarily the leaders right away. There's enough with David Ortiz and Pedroia to take some of that. To take some of that pressure off of them and let them just blossom.
Well, the Red Sox feel they have built the right brain trust in the front office to rebuild a team that has finished in last place in 3 of the last 4 years.